Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be going and talking about Cadet Kelly, one of the most known early DCOMS. Cadet Kelly was released in 2002 and it stars Hilary Duff, who we know from many things, but obviously Lizzie McGuire, and Christy, Carlson, Romano, who we also know for many things, but even Stevens and Kim Possible. And they star in a movie together, and this one I remember, like, even the promos, this was a huge deal that these were like the two great stars of Disney and they were in a movie together.
Lizzie McGuire's Hilary Duff and even Stevens' Christy, Carlson, Romano star as students in a military school.
I think, like, because I feel like Disney pushed them to be megastars, but they really weren't compared to like today, how they pushed Zendaya and Bella Thorne, and now Bella Thorne's just like crazy, and Zendaya's making movies with Hugh Jackman and Zac Efron, and like they're like the later crew. So I feel like once we get to like mid 2000s, this was still early on, so these stars were like great actors, but they weren't pushed into stardom. They're still under the radar compared to today, where you still have Zac Efron and Bella Thorne and etc that were like Disney Channel stars, and now they're just like mega superstars in that sense. We open on a scene where we have Hilary Duff's character Kelly. She goes to a art school in New York and she's doing a ribbon dance. Did Hilary Duff really like ribbon dancing? Because I feel like we saw so much ribbon dancing from her besides this film, and then there was an episode dedicated to it with Lizzie McGuire. And I just feel like everything I relate to ribbon dancing, I relate to Hilary Duff. And I'm just curious, I guess she really enjoyed the hobby. She ends up getting sent to military school after her mom remarries a ex-general, and he ends up getting a job as a principal at a really well-known military academy. Of course, Kelly is this really free-spirited, artsy person who doesn't know any discipline or boundaries, so that's the plot, and chaos ensues. She has to learn how to adjust while keeping her personality and learning how to be a little bit more disciplined and dealing with the military protocol, and also fighting with Christy, Carlson's and Romano's character, Jennifer, because she's the top girl in the academy and the cadet, and they don't get along.
Oh, did you break a nail? I don't care! Get down here, cadet! See, you think I'm like mean to her in the show, but we're best friends.
There's also love drama because they're both fighting over the same guy, who they quote as the hottest boy in school. I don't know if he's the hottest boy in school, because I feel like within a couple of minutes of the showing just guys in the background, there are so many more attractive people than he is. It is filled with a lot of childish issues, and I felt myself getting annoyed at Kelly now looking back at it. I agree, I have a lot of her personality where it's great to be free-spirited, but I feel like she comes off really childish and obnoxious about it. And plus, I feel like Hilary Duff, although I really do like her, and I have no like qualms about her obviously, but I feel like looking back at her, her acting is really subpar, and the way she does the is such a turnoff. And even then, I know I talked about it with the Lizzie McGuire movie, but she does it in here so much too. And I know it's probably her voice, but I feel like at the same time you just hear and the way she freaks out, and it just grinds you so much. And I know that she wants to keep her individuality, but at the same time, it's a part of growing up where she needs to learn to grow up, and that's a lesson. But I felt like you think you could do a little bit more compromise in the beginning, and she does come around the end. And there's a really great moment between her and her actual father, and the entire story wraps up around it, and it's really, really great. So I do appreciate that, and I feel like that is our 180. That shows that she's matured and adjusted really well, which is a great thing. But otherwise, I didn't enjoy the movie as much as I remembered it. It's a bit serious. There's still a lot of comedy on there, but I enjoyed the serious moments more than I did the comedy. And a lot of the issues that they have where people are getting annoyed at each other or angry at each other or upset at each other are really stupid. There is a point where she talks about her best friend coming from her old school.
Promise we'll be best friends, always and forever. I promise. Anyway, I'm not going. And promise you won't like it more there than you like it here. No chance of that. They wear uniforms. They go to school where they learn about military strategy. They sit in desks. No. Yes.
And her new friends that they just got to know each other maybe for a couple of months at this point, and they clicked really well, but she gets upset that she introduces her old best friend as her truest and bestest friend. Why are you angry about that? I don't understand why you all of a sudden are just like, oh, we're not friends and this girl's my best friend, but you can't be my best friend because this, like, you could have more than one best friend. And I was yelling at the TV when that happened, being like, are you kidding me? You can have multiple best friends. And even the comeback, the reply was a really bad screenwriting moment. The fact that she just is like, oh, it's not that I don't like you better, I liked her longer. That's the legit quote from the movie. Like, I understand how they're expressing it, but I feel like you could say, I've known her longer, so obviously I'm gonna have more history with her, so she's going to be a best friend, but that doesn't make you not less important. It's so much better to say it that way, instead of, I've known you longer, or I've known her longer. All in all, the other scene that's a really known scene in this film, I feel like everyone knows, is our drill team scene at the end, when we have our two dance-offs between Kelly and Jennifer, that they end up working together and dancing together for the drill team performance. And I feel like this was played as a promo all the time when they were promoting the movie, and also just various commercials for it. They definitely include this scene a lot.
I'm a one-girl revolution. I'm a one-girl revolution. I'm a one-girl revolution. And I'll be everything that I wanna be. I am confidence in insecurity.
It's an interesting film. It's still a nice film, but I actually found myself being a lot more irritated with it compared to enjoying it. So if you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. But I feel like this is something that got too much attention because of who was in it compared to the actual story. The story isn't as strong, and I didn't enjoy it as much as I did back then. But that's nice, because you get to learn and you get to reflect and see how things change. So this one didn't hold up as well as the others, but it's still, they're all still good films. They're all still good films, especially compared to today's films. But tomorrow we are going to go back and talk about another forgotten important film that I really, really, really adore so much, and again, needs to be shared more. True Confessions. So stay tuned, and as always, I hope you have a magical day, and I'll see you real soon.